There, that's how you start a damn show. Guys, it's Friday. Gentlemen, welcome.
Why are you so much bigger?
I don't know. Hold on.
Just it's Nathan's show. Nathan's got to be bigger.
No, it's because I fucked my camera up. Hold on. Oh, it's because I forgot to shrink my camera because we have 5 people this week. That's why.
Been a while.
Yeah,
I know. Back to full strength.
We are back to full strength, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's Fourth and Long, part of the 4 Laps Down Network. I'm Nathan. He's Jordan. Damn it, I always get it wrong. He's Jordan. He's Chris. Over there is Chris. Down there is Josh, and then over there, you think I don't know. I don't know how to get this right. Is
that way to me?
Yeah, is Lieutenant Dan. Daniel Ship in the house, the stat man. Dan the stat man.
Yeah, buddy.
Listen, guys, we have
He looks very cold.
He does look very cold. He lives in North Carolina.
It's like 50-something degrees down here, bro. I'm freezing.
Yeah.
It's like 30 degrees outside in Ohio.
Yeah.
I got 42. I got 42.
But people love this. It's great.
I went and got some
enjoy
Lee's fried chicken, Olio, and
Lee, hold on. First of all, pronounce it correctly. That is Lee's famous recipe chicken. Do not disrespect the American institution of Lee's.
I was just gonna say Lee's, but
I don't know who doesn't enjoy like a 35-degree crisp winter day, eating a bowl of chili, sitting around watching football all day. Like that's just.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh boy.
Okay, that's all fine and great. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I mean, I love your little ambiance thing you went with there,
Okay.
but I mean, is it not better than sitting outside on the back deck, having a nice cold beer and some flip flops? Like 75 degrees.
Nope. I enjoy wearing a hoodie and getting in the car when it's a little chilly outside. Yeah, this is my favorite time of the year.
I remember when I was a little fella.
Reminds me of football.
Chris, hold on. Chris, you're still a little fella. Just because you do push-ups, you're still a little fella.
Oh.
I thought that's why Chris doesn't like cold weather, because his bones are brittle.
I was about to say it's those old joints. They get a little rickety on them in the winter.
But I didn't like winter. I didn't like winter before when I was young. Either,
I felt right at home last Sunday though, because in Ohio it was. I mean, up in Germantown, Ohio, where I woke, there was like an inch of snow on the ground. And like I go to leave, I had to get my brush out because my back windshield wiper wouldn't knock the snow off. So I had to get my brush out and knock it off. And I was like, this is elite. And then I got home and there was nothing. And it was like, it was like a 50-degree day last Sunday. So.
Well, listen, guys, thanks to everybody in the chat for being here.
That's the weather report from Fourth and Long.
Hubie, yeah. Hey, next week's guest, Jim Cantori. Hubie's here in the chat. He says, let's give some damn jerky away. I want to give a quick shout out to our presenting sponsor, the Outlaw Jerky Company. I want to show you guys a little something. Look at all of this. Look at all of this beautiful, luscious, delicious beef jerky. We're going to be giving some away tonight after the show. We're going to do a Facebook post in the 4 Laps Down Nation. Make sure you're a part of that group. And that Facebook post is going to be really simple. Comment why we should send you a free bag of the Outlaw Jerky Company. And we are going to pick our 2 favorite comments and send it to two of you who comment. That, of course, is from the Outlaw Jerky Company. I don't have... Hubie, I've got to talk to you. I've got to talk to you after the stream about the merch. We'll discuss that and we'll maybe roll that out next week.
It's a little small for his belly.
No, it just is going to require a conversation with me and Hubie. But we'll get that one situated. And hopefully there's some merch here very soon that we're able to be giving out as well. Outlaw Jerky merch.
Hey Jordan, are you in a basement, by the way? Blink twice if you're being held hostage.
No, yes, I'm in a basement, and I had to do some renovations because I took a bunch of stuff from my basement and put it in my shed. So,
what's the lotion on the skin?
I might be able to. Yeah, I'm not in a hole, but my dog. I do like have to keep muting my mic and like screaming at my dog because she keeps trying to.
You don't. Hey, you don't have to mute. You don't have to mute the mic. You screaming at your dog would just sound like Chris Land picking a loser for a game. So it's no big deal.
There you go.
Let's see.
Ow.
Yeah, like I said, Hubie, we'll talk.
That was a horrible joke.
We'll talk offline. It does not every one of my jokes land, but as long as I'm batting at least 400, I'll get in the Hall of Fame. So,
golly, that was...
And if you bat 309, you'll win the NL MVP.
listen, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get mad. I've started to move on from that bullshit, but whatever. Anyway, I know Ship agrees with me. Anyway,
who do you think should have got it?
not Bryce Harper. He led in
Bryce Harper.
He led in almost no statistical categories. Almost none.
I gave it to my boy.
Soto led in 7 or 8 of the major statistical categories, including the most important one, wins above replacement. Bryce Harper wasn't even in the top 10. And by the way, he had a negative defensive wins above replacement. Last I checked in the National League, there's no such thing as DH. Defense also matters. If you're a negative WAR on defense and not even in the top 10 in offensive WAR, how can you justify it? It's a mockery.
Personally, and I'm not the biggest baseball guy, but I would have given it to Fernando Tatis Jr. He seems like he had a really good year.
Tatis was up there. What hurt him was the injuries. Soto put together the best season of anybody. He deserved it, but let's be honest, Soto's 23 years old. He ain't going anywhere. He's going to win a lot more MVPs before it's all said and done. That being said, we're not here to talk about baseball. We're here to talk about the National Football League, and last week was an interesting week for us. We all kind of sort of maybe just a little bit took a bath, but because of last week, we did have some shuffling in the standings, and we also now have a 1 at the end of all of our records because there was a tie game, and we're going to get into one of the most intriguing stories around that game during tonight's segment of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Paul Huber has the week off, and we're going to do that together as a group live. Just Bill O'Reilly style right here in person. Let's talk a little bit about last week as Jordan gives us the dad bod cam right there.
Yeah.
Trying to make my lighting a little better.
It was actually, it was okay. It was okay before. It actually is better on the stream than it is in Discord, so you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
Because Chris Land looks 8 times better on the stream than he does on Discord.
Make me pretty,
That's
Nathan.
damn
That's
good.
all I ask.
That's good, man. That's good.
Damn good. I mean, 8 times better than this. Shit. I'll take it.
Yeah. So, all right. So last week was week 10. It was just kind of a weird week. A couple highlights. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 12 games. I'm sorry, 9 of the 13 games. We all picked unanimously. One of those was the tie game, Pittsburgh versus Detroit. So that gets added to the standing column as a tie for everybody. No winner, no loser. So it doesn't affect the standings really one way or the other. Couple highlights. Ship and I picked Kansas City. They obviously won. Josh and I were not cowards and picked the Vikings, and they won. And yes, that's right, Jordan. Last week I called you out and said that I would be the man that you refused to be and take the Vikings.
Maybe he just needs to pick against them all the time. Then
I was about to say, spoiler, I'm picking Green Bay this week.
It's the Chris Land effect.
Yeah, it is the Chris Land
effect. Go Bengals.
Yeah.
Let's go on,
Speak of the devil. The trash can pick of the week was Mr. Joshua Hawthorne taking the Browns. That worked out well. But that being said, let's talk real quick about the standings, and then we're going to go right into our You Heard It from Hubie, featuring the cast of 4th and Long. Let's see here. So you'll see those at the bottom of your screen for those of you watching at home. So Ship remains firmly in first place, a 9-game lead. He went 7-5-1 last week, as did I, 7-5-1, and that was good enough to jump me into second place over Jordan. I think, Josh, I still think that I've got your record wrong by 1 game. I did not fix it. Was it your record? Whose record was wrong last week?
I think mine was by one win.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Chris's.
Yeah, that's right. So, Chris, I have not fixed that yet because I forgot who it was, and I didn't want to go back.
He'll be a game back.
Yeah, so it shows you 2 games back of Josh right now, so it looks like you're really only 1 game back of John.
Correct. That's what
Josh. So, with that being said...
Me and Josh are tied, aren't we?
No. Yes. Well,
on the ticker we're tied. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been keeping that out of track since I haven't been here.
I thought you were one.
He picked up a game on you. Yes, you're tied. I have his losses wrong on the ticker. I have him with an extra loss.
So technically, I'm really just 2 games out of third.
Correct. That's correct.
Basically.
And
I need 8 wins to get 100.
And you're only
Nope.
3 games out of tying me. So I mean, you're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. But chat, just so chat, those of you watching at home, we're not on Twitch. I'm not talking to chat here. Although we could talk to chat. I said that at work the other day and outed myself as a Twitch streamer because I started a new job and I specifically hadn't brought it up. And because maybe get to know some of my bosses for more than a week before they watch me shotgun 20 beers on Twitch a night.
What's your Twitch name? Silver Thunder?
No, I don't.
On a work night, no doubt.
I haven't told anyone what my Twitch name is, and I did tell one of the guys. So they have a giant fantasy football trophy that gets passed around, and when I say giant, this sumbitch is 3 feet tall and has a big ass football on top. They take it seriously, and
Chris Lane.
There's that. You'll have
I can stand on top of it and dunk.
That's yes. On one of those little Tykes hoops. Anyway, I'm trying to find it. There's a bag of jerky in here that's got so far Chris Land's name all over it. I've got the little one here, which is the one he's going to have to eat. This is Devil's Breath beef jerky from the Outlaw Jerky Company. It's 2 times hotter than the one chip challenge. And
we have weeks.
And the loser in last place of the Pick'em challenge must eat Devil's Breath beef jerky live on the air. So it's going to be a great time
on Super Bowl Sunday, right?
Not Super Bowl Sunday, but on our Super Bowl show, which will be before Super Bowl Sunday. But yes, that is correct. It's going to be.
I thought you ate it on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was our Super Bowl show.
Yeah,
there was some extra.
That night went a little long.
Yeah, there was some extracurriculars happening in the background of your stream.
Titty gate.
If you remember that.
Hey, I'm just trying to tell you, if you all ever brought that kind of heat to the show, I mean, really.
Hashtag
just say
bring back Tittygate.
Yeah, look, I mean, look. If I really wanted to stir
I heard it got renewed for season 2.
And
yeah.
It's like Joe Exotic.
So Jesus, don't bring up my hero. Don't disrespect.
I started watching it last night. I'm through.
I already finished.
Have you?
It's only 6 episodes.
Wait, is there a new season?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes, I gotta go watch it. That bitch Carol Baskins in Florida.
She gets brought up.
Of course she does.
The entire episode too. Yeah. Anyway,
so as usual, we have a great segment here on fourth and long that we do every week. Hubie's gonna give us some good, bad, and ugly in the comments. But while he's doing that, we're gonna roll. We're gonna do this segment live on the air. Right now. This poorly produced video segment is brought to you by the Outlaw Jerky Company. Get some. All right, that's the intro that Hubie does, but it's normally pre-recorded. And so one of the things that we do is every week on the show, you heard it from Hubie is the name of the segment, and let me put the logo on the screen there so it looks legit. There we go. And one of the things that Hubie does is he reviews a beer or a bourbon or a whiskey of his choosing live on the air. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the responsibility for the beer review because I'm convinced that none of my peers have any good taste in beer. But what I've chosen for today is one, and this is kind of against the rules, but I've had this one before plenty of times. But people watching at home maybe have not. And this is called Psychopathy. It's from Mad Tree Brewing Company here in Cincinnati, Ohio.
You can't see that. You're on the wrong camera.
No, we could see it on the stream.
Do we do this every week? Do we have to have technical?
Josh forgets. Josh forgets that the camera that they can see me on is different than this one. Anyway, so the viewers at home can see it. Shut up, Josh. You can go to the store and buy this if you want. This is Mad Tree Psychopathy. This is an IPA. I found a 16-ouncer at Kroger, so that I didn't have to buy a whole 12-pack. But I would have.
Lord,
it's a good beer. But I'm gonna give you a quick review of this one. If you're an IPA fan, this is a great beer. Cheers.
If you're an IPA fan, then I don't know what you did to your tongue as a child, but you don't have taste buds left.
Well, I licked a lot of 9-volt batteries.
I know why I never got into expensive beers when I was young because I never had any money when I was young.
Yeah.
So,
well, look, I was very excited.
$13 and I could get a 30 rack versus
10. Yeah, I was very excited to find this in a single can for $3 so that I didn't have to pay $10 for a 6-pack or $20 for a 12-pack. that being said, I know that Hubie's never going to review an IPA on here, so I figured this is my time to shine. Now, listen, if you're an IPA fan, you're really going to like the citrusy, floral smells and scents to this. There is a little bit of earthiness to it. It's a little bit more of a grungy IPA, and then it's got a little more of an earthy taste, whereas some IPAs favor the citrus. It's a little smoky as well.
Grungy?
I don't know that that's the best word.
I mean, did you hear like Nirvana when you took a drink, or
yeah? Would it be like Kurt Cobain? Does it taste like Kurt Cobain covered in mud?
I think it does taste a little bit like Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain, and also the fact that Jeffrey Epstein's secretary is on trial this week and no one's talking about it for reasons. So just want to point that out.
A different trial that just concluded that I think dominated the
nobody even expects anything to come of those good cases
so listen,
anymore.
Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, and I rate this beer a 7 out of 10 if you like IPAs. If you don't like IPAs, you're going to probably give this a 2 or a 3. This is not a beer. This is not how you cut your teeth on IPAs. There's a couple that I could give you if you want to cut your teeth on some IPAs and get to know them. This is not one. This is a real man's IPA. Again, this is Mad Tree Psychopathy from Cincinnati, Ohio, Mad Tree Brewing Company. 7 out of 10. Now, after the beer review every week on the You Heard It From Hubie segment, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I guess I could probably play the song in the background. I don't know.
Can I do the bad? Can I do just the bad?
You can do a bad and I'll give you mine. But listen, for the good, I think we all agree. Well, I'm going to let Ship talk about what was good from last week.
God, whatever could we talk about? I mean, at halftime, I don't know if you guys saw it. It was 28-3 Dallas. And the Atlanta Falcons Twitter tweeted, we know. And they sent a picture of it. And it was, we know. So let's go back. It was 43-3. So I love my stats. So check these out. So Dallas had 22 first downs. Atlanta had 11. Dallas had 431 yards. Atlanta had 214. Dallas was 6 of 14 on third down. Atlanta was 1 for 11. The Falcons did not convert any of their first third down until right before the 6-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Dallas was 3-3 on fourth down. Atlanta was 0-2. The cool stat for me that I think is really cool, the 36 points the Cowboys had at halftime are the most since 1980 when they had a 38-20 lead over the Niners. On top of that, the 29 points they scored in the second quarter are the most points the Cowboys have ever scored in any quarter of any game ever. So that team firing on all cylinders. I don't care. You can say Atlanta was an Atlanta team, but I've been on their train before. I've cheered for them. I've picked for them. They had the blocked punt in the game. Very balanced. They even had, I believe, what was my other thing? Dallas had 3 receivers with 50-plus receiving yards. Atlanta had 1, which was Kyle Pitts.
Hey, you know what Atlanta is right now? They're finally playing like the team I was picking them to be early on in the year, because if you watched last night's game, they were even worse last night than if it was possible.
Yeah, that game last night got a little out of hand pretty quick. Didn't they have, I think I saw they had 3 different quarterbacks come in and each one of them threw a pick.
Something like that.
They're bad.
I looked up and realized with about 4 minutes ago that is the least I had watched a Thursday night football game that had been on the TV since kickoff.
Hello. Don't hack my your Atlanta Falcons pick for my good of my Cowboys. They should not be mentioned in the same good with a.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, we'll see what them Cowboys are made of this week.
I'm just saying. They're playing the Chiefs. Who gives a fuck? They're going to win.
Hey, I want to jump in with a good, and I'm just gonna dookie on Chris Land a little bit. We all make fun of Chris Land's Washington racism Super Bowl pick. Who'd everybody put in the Super Bowl before the season started? The Cleveland Browns. What happened to my Super Bowl pick, the New England Patriots last week?
I didn't pick the Cleveland
Hey,
Browns.
and you know what? Hey, Paul Huber, the king of You Heard It From Hubie, wants to piggyback off that and say Mac Jones is his good last week. And listen, I'll agree with him. Mac Jones looked great. Mac Jones looks like a solid NFL pro quarterback. He certainly has impressed me so far, and he's impressed a lot of the pundits in the sports media world as well. He has definitely been the talk of the town as it relates to to rookie quarterbacks this
so.
year for sure.
Listen,
They got Buffalo twice on the schedule too, so we'll see what that defense is made out of.
Yeah,
But
they
let's
do.
not act like legitimately. Let's not act like a 2 seed is not on the table for the New England Patriots at this point.
surprisingly, I agree with you. I would never would have thought that at the beginning of the year. But with that being said, let's talk about the bad and the ugly for the week. Bad, real simple. Odell Beckham. Everywhere he goes,
They
dies.
try to tell everybody to listen for as long
Everywhere.
as you care to listen.
Everywhere.
He hasn't been relevant since Eli Manning was good.
You know,
I mean, come on.
and listen, you can't say, well, Eli Manning's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He hasn't had a good quarterback since then. Guys, listen, Matt Stafford is a good quarterback. He's only been there 1 week, I know. But unless Odell Beckham turns around everything about his game, the problem's him.
Not.
The problem is him.
He's not going to do it because he's not willing to do
listen,
the
I
dirty.
heard a really good comparison for Odell Beckham. He's used to being the number one. I don't know if you remember, and we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit. When Carmelo Anthony went to the Rockets, he moved into a bench role or a bench player, but he never accepted the fact that he was a bench player. Once he finally accepted it, and you look at what he's doing in LA now, he's accepted I'm a bench player, and it's working.
Not to go down a rabbit hole, but how do you not accept that you're a bench player when you're 35 pounds overweight and
Listen,
can't drive the lane
that's
anymore?
fine, but Odell has to realize, like, he's not a number one anymore.
Right.
Like, you're not a number one. You're going to be a number 3 on that team.
I'd argue
well-
that Odell was only a number one because he was the deep threat on that team, and that Victor Cruz was the better wide receiver.
I wouldn't probably argue that, but I would go with not that Victor Cruz was bad. I mean, he did the hula thing and danced his ass right into
Also
the
dance.
Pro Bowls. And when back then they were in Hawaii, that was a good little thing to get. But anyway, I mean, but still, he's on a team now that it does have a quarterback that can throw the ball. I don't think Baker Mayfield is a good deep ball thrower because I think defensive react because he's got a slow load up. So they see him load up to throw the ball, where Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers can flip it, 40 yards and get you on that shoulder down the sideline. And that's the difference. The only way Odell's going to be good is if he has, a quarterback, and Stafford can do it. Let's see if he gets better. But I just don't believe that he's willing to do the other things in the game anymore. He just wants to catch go routes and do dances.
I agree, but I don't think he's going to be like an elite receiver in LA. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I'm pretty sure San Francisco's beaten LA. Like, I think that was their 6th straight time
the defense was as bad as
LA.
the problem the other night.
It's LA always struggles with San Francisco because San Francisco plays a very smash mouth physical style of football that matches up really well whenever you play Sean McVay's like futuristic kind of, passing the ball, whatever offense. So I let's hold out. I want to see what Odell does 2 or 3 weeks into the system. But if I was making predictions, I would predict that he's not going to walk out. And them losing Robert Woods is going to be a big loss for that offense, man. That's a big loss.
So without going as quite in depth, let's go ahead and give our uglies of the week last week. And I'll start this one.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
It was awesome
anytime
watching them squander
anytime
every chance they had.
Anytime a game in the NFL ends in a tie, it's always going to be the ugly. But my ugly this week is Najee Harris not knowing that the NFL could end games in a tie. How embarrassing of a soundbite.
McNabb didn't know that when the Bengals and them tied that one year, and he's a damn quarterback.
Listen, I'm not going to allow you in 2021 to make the prejudicial judgment that quarterbacks are inherently smarter than running backs. Okay, running backs can be intelligent too, and I don't want to see anything about that coming from you ever again.
I get that. That had nothing to do with it. But
I know.
I'm
just
the
kidding.
guy that is the captain of your team that makes a lot of decisions would know that there's a tie game at the end of a quarter. I mean,
you would think
I've only known it since I was like 8.
Okay, Chris, they didn't have the NFL in the 1950s. Okay, let's move on.
Hey, but what about Pat Fryermuth, that tight end that fumbled that, and then the Lions, I think, just like knelt it
Rip.
out to end the game.
Hey,
What was he doing trying to truck his way up the sideline instead of like
Baby Gronk.
immediately going out of bounds to stop the clock and
he's
try and get
Bam
out there?
Bam.
Oh my
He
God.
performs
Just
no
so
thoughts. Bam
stupid.
Bam. Bam
Such a
Bam.
boneheaded play.
He went to Penn State. You can't expect him to have a lick of sense.
That's Firemouth is who you talked about on Ryan's show.
Yeah, that's a good memory. I did talk about him. He's good.
It.
Listen, he's a good ball player. but
He was in every one of my dailies.
he might be
week.
dumber than a bag of hammers after
Hey,
that.
but
move.
you know what I
don't
respect?
Hey.
You know what I respect about him, and toss this in the good too. I'm sure Shannon Sharp tweeted something about how that was a boneheaded mistake, and he didn't then go after Shannon Sharp saying that he wasn't half the player that he was, like DK Metcalf did whenever he did a very similar thing for the Seattle Seahawks and lost them a game. Firemouth only, caused a tie, but a tie to the Lions, I think, should count as like 6 losses, I think, at this point. So
I agree with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and add another loss to Jordan's record here on the column. So all right, guys, well, listen, that's been this week's interesting segment of You Heard It From Hubie right here on 4th and Long. We're gonna keep going here.
All right. Hey, what's the chat say?
Chat. So, well, they say that the Steelers choked. Hubie commented on OBJ. Hubie's not a fan of OBJ. If you can read the chat, you understand. But that being said, let's jump into the games this week and get some of these games picked here. We are a little bit behind the schedule, but we're going to make that up right here.
Late start. It was your fault.
Listen, all I'm saying is the ESPN College Game Day crew can pick 20 games in 10 minutes. Surely we could pick 13 games in 90, right?
Jeez,
All I'm going to say is we're more in depth than the College Game Day crew. Have you seen? Listen, it's easy to talk about games that are 25-point spreads.
No, they don't pick
Ohio
those
State,
games. They don't pick
like
those
Ohio
games.
State is
They pick
favored
all
over
the good
Michigan
games.
State, which is asinine.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, hold on. Here's your Silver Thunder lock of the week. Michigan State to cover. Next.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Let's get after it, boys. The first game this week, we're gonna start it off
I
hot.
see it at 19.
Hot. I don't care. Listen, if it's more than 12, Michigan State to cover is the lock of the week. Write it down.
Man,
Ohio State has a
team, and I got 3 teams to
Hey,
add. And that's very tempting. I'm gonna think about it.
Ask them if you can take that game 3 times for the last 3 legs because it's the lock of the week. Ohio State hasn't played a good defense this year. Promise you.
Man, I'm gonna have to dig in and look at some other stuff.
There's no digging. It's this.
You might be able to sell me on that.
I'm using the Thoroughbred Merchant Solution. Silver Thunder says lock of the week on Michigan State to cover against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Sorry, Freudian slip. On Saturday, book it. And guess what? I started a new job this week, and I don't work Saturdays anymore, so I'm gonna watch that game and I'm gonna put money on it through a guy I know who takes bets.
I appreciate it, by the way.
It's not you. It's not you.
No, I'm talking about the plug for the sponsorship.
Can we pick the damn games?
We closed our biggest deal in company history this week.
Is there a London game
Unified
this week?
Athletic Wear?
No. Actually,
There's not.
A Hampton Inn.
Ooh, there you go. That wasn't you though. Surely not. What was another sales rep that did that?
$3.6 million a year.
In your pocket?
Hell no.
Stakes on Chris Land. First game. Cleveland at home hosting the Detroit almost not winless Lions. The spread is 12 points. Vegas does not like the Lions at all after shitting the bed to the Steelers. Jordan, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
I said that, and look, it feels good to be back. This is a nice cupcake game to pick for the first one. Let me really sink my teeth in. It's Cleveland, and it's easily Cleveland because look at what Detroit's done. Every time they get within an inch of victory, they shit the bed so bad the next game, and they get blown out by 30 points. It's happened time and time again. They almost beat, I don't know. I know they got blown out by Philly and the Bengals, and they almost beat somebody and then the Vikings. So they're going to get blown out by Cleveland here. They're going to get blown out by Cleveland, and I have no doubt about it. Cleveland covers easily.
All right,
I'm all about that because it's supposed to be rainy, cold weather, and as bad as Detroit is, making the weather conditions more adverse. It's tough on them and better for a power running team There is no way that they're. That as soon as it gets back up, they just adjusted the line, I think, because for some reason they took it down where I could do this parlay. But Cleveland is going in my parlay for this weekend for sure.
So, all right, here's the deal. I don't care what the injury report says. I don't think Baker Mayfield is 100%. Matter of fact, I know he's not 100%. He had limited practice on the days that he did practice. He was in full pads and full practice on Friday, but outside of that, he was either limited or didn't practice all week. A lot of people think he hurt his shoulder and stayed in the game because he felt like he had to. Obviously, they ended up pulling him anyway, but I don't think Baker Mayfield's 100%. Okay, I really don't. Now, here's the problem with this. Okay?
Golf's not playing either.
Golf's not playing either.
And Boyle.
And here's where I think this is a key to this game. Golf's not playing, and I think the Lions are better for it. I think Baker being down, Golf being out, the writing is on the wall for the Lions to finally get off the schneid and get their first win of the season. The Browns are exactly the right franchise to do that as well, because what is more Cleveland Browns than everybody yelling dog check, Super Bowl, AFC North champs, and then continuing to slide to where you are the one team that the Lions beat before they pick number 1 next year. I think it makes sense. I'm going Detroit.
Josh? I think it makes sense. I'm going Cleveland. After you did all that up, I thought you were just going to say the other.
No, hell no. I'm not a cat. Hey, listen, I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. I'm not a coward.
But hey, I've had my pick. I'll be quiet. I was just
I'm also a grown man, and I'm not an idiot. So I'm going to take Cleveland because
you took them last week, you clown.
Detroit, yeah, they played a better team than Detroit. I can promise you that.
That's true. Hey, they played a better team than Cleveland too.
Okay, give me Cleveland. Nick Chubb's back. They're going to run the ball down Detroit's throat. It doesn't matter if Baker's hurt. Baker sucks, and
it kind of matters.
Hey, hold on. It doesn't matter because I've been saying for weeks I think Cleveland is a better team with Keenum because he throws the ball on time.
But Keenum's not going to play. They're going to put a hobbled-ass Baker out there.
They're not going to throw the ball because Nick Chubb's going to run for 150 yards.
They didn't throw the ball. They didn't throw the ball last week.
Do it.
Nick Chubb's running for 125 yards this game.
Do it.
Sure.
He's going to run. Give him 2 tutties. Cleveland wins this game easily.
Chip.
He could have 3 touchdowns this week.
Cleveland. I don't have stats right now. It's not loading where I get my stats from.
Oh no. Well,
you know what? I'm gonna go all in and try to find your stat thing and try to outdo you.
He's not. No. That's all we need is chicken chest over there trying to outdo somebody with stats.
I know. Ship, get on your push-up game.
I ain't. You do realize he's got to meet PT criteria. Anyway, next game.
It's a joke. It was funnier when you played along.
Next game, whatever. You're an idiot. Next game, Jacksonville and the 49ers. It's in Jacksonville. San Francisco's a 6.5-point favorite on the road. What do we think, gentlemen?
I'll go first. I think the 49ers, even though for the same reason I said not the Jags last week, I can't say winning streak and Jaguars together. I know I can't add another game to it. But hey, I do think that the defense is pretty good on both sides. I think it might be a lower scoring game. I don't know if Debo is now the best wide receiver in football, but he's looked like it a couple of weeks this year. And so I'm going to take the Niners, but man, I think it might be a pretty low scoring game. So anyway, Niners.
I'll go second. I'm also going to take the Niners. They looked really good against an LA team that everybody just rode into the Super Bowl. So give me
Your
give me
brother
San
started
Francisco.
that week 1.
Give me San Francisco in this game. They're a better team than Jacksonville.
I'm also gonna jump on San Francisco because I can't say I'm not gonna pick Jacksonville at all this season. I don't think unless they play the Lions. So and they don't. So I'm going.
They
with
got the Texans coming up.
Okay, that's interesting. Revenge game for Trevor.
Right? Yeah. Nate.
Chip.
All right, so I had to
Can't
go to a
always
different spot where I get my stats. So look, the Jaguars defense has only given up 22 points in their past 2 games, including holding Buffalo to, of course, a pair of field goals. But the 49ers with Jimmy has an 84.2 quarterback rating over the past 3 games. That's the second best in the NFL. Plus the Niners, and I agree with you. They're kind of going on the Cordero Patterson route, and I see it because they're doing sweeps, they're doing stunts, they're doing RPOs with Debo. Samuel's sitting at 979 yards receiving on the year and is seeking to join Jerry Rice as the only 49 receiver to reach 1,000 yards in the team's first 10 games of the season. So he's what 21 away. San Francisco.
Okay. The most intriguing thing in this game is going to be who ends up actually starting for San Francisco. I do believe it's going to be Garoppolo, but his days are numbered now that Trey Lance is healthy, back ready to go. Obviously, they have the benefit of playing Jacksonville this week, one of the worst teams in the NFL.
But Elijah Mitchell is probably not going to play.
He's doubtful.
They all but said he's not going to play. So Jeffrey Wilson Jr., if you need to pick up, he's going to get all the action and he catches the ball on third down. He will get a ton of touches.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some interesting stat makers this game, but I don't think that they're going to end up putting Trey Lance under center to start the game. Now, if Garoppolo goes out in the first quarter and throws 2 pick sixes, yeah, Trey Lance comes in. Easy decision. But I'm not sure that Kyle Shanahan's ready to put the weight of this season onto Trey Lance. The problem is that if they somehow fuck around and make the playoffs, Garoppolo's not going to carry them anywhere. They've got a better opportunity with Trey Lance. I think if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I use this game.
Super Bowl a few years ago.
Huh?
I know everybody chooses not to remember the fact that Garoppolo was one pass away from being a Super Bowl champion like 2 years ago.
Shanahan uses Garoppolo really well. I think if they make the playoffs, they could potentially make some noise.
He doesn't trust the other side of that argument. Or they would play the kid. He doesn't trust the kid to get him a win in a tight game.
I disagree with it being a trust factor and more of a health factor. I don't think he sees the upside in risking Trey Lance out there. He's had some injury issues this year. I don't think he sees the upside given the injury history. Now, that being said, you are right. It's not like we're talking about Jimmy G being Mitch Trubisky, okay? He's had some semblance of a successful NFL career. That being said, I still think this is a good week for San Francisco to go out and get a win and experiment a little bit because I'm not convinced that Jacksonville can score their way out of a wet paper sack, especially in the air. I got banned from a Jacksonville Jaguars fan page on Facebook this week because I said something really simple and really true. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't 180 his career in the next year and a half, he goes down as a major bust. And they did not like that whatsoever. One guy had the balls to tell me that Trevor Lawrence was more talented than Joe Burrow. I almost tried to get him banned from the group, but it didn't work that way. But that being said, I'm going San Francisco this week. But
if you know my mother's name, you probably should search her in that group because she's like in every Jacksonville group.
Yeah, well, I'm going San Francisco for the win this week, but I do think that there is a chance that Jacksonville could backdoor cover this spread with some garbage time points in the fourth quarter. So I'm not sure I'm putting money or points on this game, but I do think San Francisco is going to take this one and win it. So the next game we've got on our schedule, this one's going to be a great game. I think this is going to be one of the best games of the week. We've got Buffalo at home. The Colts are coming into town. Of course, the Colts play in a dome and Buffalo's in the snow. So, of course, that means the Colts don't have a shot at this game, according to my illustrious panel here. But Buffalo's 7-point favorites at home.
You clearly blow that out of proportion. I'll start because I'm going to interrupt you. Listen, weather plays a factor, and you can say that it doesn't, and the elements play a factor. But there are people that cannot play in the NFL if they play in Denver because the air is so thin.
That is completely different than weather. That has
it's part of the weather. The altitude is part of the weather. The air is part of the weather.
Air pressure and barometric pressure are two completely different things.
Listen, stop, Jordan. Did you watch the game when Indianapolis played in San Francisco and it was a monsoon outside? Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
You did. So were they airing the ball out the whole time? Were they throwing the ball the entire time, or were they playing the run game?
Both teams have the same disadvantage though. It doesn't weather doesn't favor one team over the other. That's the point I'm making.
It used to, and I'm gonna
still
say
does.
it still does.
Maybe not as much, but it still does.
But
regardless,
Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
I'm taking Buffalo in this game. They can't lose. This is a must-win game against Indianapolis. You have the Patriots hot on your tail right now in that division. You can't afford. You gotta keep pace with them. Obviously the Patriots won yesterday, so Buffalo needs this win to stay with New England because it's going to be tough to get a wild card in the AFC. So this is a must-win game for Buffalo. I'm going to take them in this game.
It's getting more and more difficult because Nathan, I love the Josh Allen MVP pick in the preseason. It's getting more and more difficult to consider him an MVP quarterback this season, just with the way some of the other quarterbacks are playing. I'm picking Buffalo in this game. To the weather debate, I will say, like, the 70s Vikings were coached specifically where they were not allowed to wear coats on the sideline in snow games. Not coats. They could wear coats. They didn't get heaters on, the sidelines. So when the LA Rams came to Minnesota to play outside in a blizzard, they're all huddled around their space heaters and they're just completely uncomfortable. And the Vikings are like, yeah, we practice in this without space heaters. Like this is kind of what it is. So, I mean, it does play a factor, but it's minimized because so many teams play in domes now. It doesn't really matter.
And the
Buffalo's
fields are a little heated too.
Yes, and Buffalo has. I think they're one of them and Green Bay. I can't think of too many no-known teams that don't play in a dome nowadays. But I'm taking Buffalo because, like Josh said, it's a must-win for them almost. Yeah, New England,
Buffalo, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Baltimore.
See,
I'm not going to say Cincinnati is as northern as Buffalo, Minnesota, Green Bay. I'm talking about the teams that are almost in Canada.
Yeah, Great Lake teams.
There's only 2 Great Lake teams, period.
That are north. Come on.
Okay, Chris, what do you think?
I'm just gonna take the Bills.
He said fucking analysis. I'm taking Buffalo.
I mean, here's the thing. We all know that the Bills are really good on defense. They're going to try to take away Jonathan Taylor. I've been a Jonathan Taylor guy all year, but I think he's in for his worst performance, road game, and I don't think Carson Wentz is going to outduel Josh Allen.
Yeah,
I don't know who's going to score for the Bills, but I know there's going to be certain. I think it could be a spread out kind of thing. So, anyway, I'm going to go with the Bills.
I really want to pick Indianapolis here, but I just can't. My gut tells me they're not going to pull it off. I think Indianapolis has shown signs of being a decent team.
I think so too.
And the Bills have shown that they've got some weaknesses for sure. But
7's a lot of points in that game.
7 is a lot of points. I think if I'm taking potentially a team to cover, but maybe not upset, Indianapolis is my pick this week. But I've got to go Bills here. I think that the Bills know, Josh, to your point, must win. They must win this game. They have to, and I think they know that. I think they come ready to play. It's a home game for them. Bills Mafia out in force. There's going to be babies going through tables and all kind of stuff. That sort of thing. So, yeah. So, Shep, what do you got for us, bub?
So look, Buffalo scored the most points they've ever scored against New York Jets since 1979 last week. So to say that it's a risk that they may not be as close as a lot of people think, I think it's an understatement. I mean, Josh Allen goes 21 for 28, 366. Devin Singletary gets 43 yards. Matt Breida, who looked good, who hasn't run for 2 years or so, he comes back. He looks pretty good. Stephon gets 162. Emmanuel Sanders gets a couple catches. Matt Breida gets a couple catches. So I don't think it's as far-fetched to believe that they can pull away. I don't know if you guys saw, there was some news articles this week. I don't know if you guys read the Rex Ryan on
say what's
I'm jumping ahead. I'm going to bounce back. I'm not there yet. I had to pull it up. Anyways, So look, the Colts have allowed 23 passing touchdowns this season. That's the most in the NFL. On the flip side, the Bills have only allowed 6 passing touchdowns this season, which is the fewest in the NFL by 5 entering week 11. The Colts have won 5 of their last 7 after they started 0-3. We talked about that. The Bills allowed fewer than 24 points in 8 of their 9 games this season. So when you look at defensive rankings, the Buffalo has the top ranked defense. Colts have the 28th, and they also have the 10th ranked offense with Buffalo. So it's not, again, I don't think it's far fetched, but I speak on what Chris talked about with Jonathan Taylor. Since week 4, Indy's been 5-2, where Taylor rushes for over 109 yards a game, averaging 6 yards a carry with 9 rushing touchdowns. But last stat on the flip side, the Bills have a plus 145 point differential this season, which is the most in the NFL. The Bills are the only team to outscore their opponents by 100 plus points. So it's Buffalo. Everything points to Buffalo, and so yeah.
All righty. So that's Buffalo across the board. Next up, we have.
Which means that Indy wins.
Wow, which means it doesn't affect the standings one way or the other. So I guess that's a good thing. Next
I'm
up,
trying to get to 100.
I know you are. We've got a lot of time left, bub. You're already over 90, I believe. Yeah, you're 92. Listen, next game, Jets, Miami, AFC East matchup. 2 bad teams. What do we think, guys?
Okay, so this is where I got ahead of myself. So I don't know if you saw this week that Rex Ryan was doing a podcast. Okay. Well, during that podcast, he mentioned
Surprised he's doing anything that doesn't involve food.
Exactly. So Bart Scott mentioned to him and said, "Hey, look, their defense is pretty good." So Rex Ryan came out and said, "No, their defense is abysmal. We didn't have our safety. So what? Everybody has a million injuries, let alone above average safety. You're missing." He said, "I remember playing without 5 corners. It never looked like this. We were 5th in the league in defense." So he said, "This guy was supposed to be a defensive guru. I heard everything. I take it personal on this one. Everything I heard about this guy, he's a lot like me, but without the bad part. Yeah, well, some of the bad part you need." So he basically goes on to say that there's no reason that anybody should be comparing this Jets team to anything that Rex Ryan ever did. And Robert took it personal, and Robert's brother also took it very personal on Twitter. So they've been going back and forth all week. So that should be an interesting take. I mean, I don't know who's, because fucking Mike White, he makes that great MVP pass last week, I think, to Buffalo, where it was like nobody around except all white jerseys. So it's kind of a who of who. Flacco is starting this week for the Jets, in case anybody's wondering, if you guys can remember what team he played for. So look, the Dolphins have allowed fewer than 400 total yards in 5 straight games. That's their longest streak this season. The Jets have lost 6 of their last 7 versus the Dolphins. Their lone win was in 2019. And the Jets have allowed 175 points in their last 4 games. Only the 2000 Ravens allowed 165 points in 16 games. There's a reference for you. I hate Miami. I mean, Tua came in and looked great. How about the offensive lineman with almost the touchdown?
Bro, that was great.
I mean, the stretch, the effort. I would have counted it, but give me Miami. Big man. Give me Miami.
Hey, I'm gonna use my one piggyback on something Ship said. When what was his when Rex Ryan said, you need some of the bad pout, was he talking about the foot fetish? Is that what he's implying? What Saleh needs to be most successful? I'm going with Miami. I think that they'll I do think they're the better team. I think they've had some rough injury luck, but I've liked what Jalen Waddle's done this season. I think he's having a quiet, good season. He's obviously being outshone.
7-8 catches a week, which
he's been solid.
Season. Yeah, I've got him on a couple squads.
He would be starting in my lineup, but I took 2 rookies this season, and one of them happened to be Jamar Chase, and I think that's why he's not getting enough love from the national media, is because Jamar Chase is doing crazy things for the Bengals. So I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle and Tua in this one over the Jets defense, which hasn't impressed me.
I think it's interesting that we went within a couple of weeks span from talking about Tua's getting traded, Deshaun Watson's coming in, to now all of that's basically off the table. And The Dolphins are still really bad. It doesn't make any sense to me why Miami wasn't more aggressive in that situation to make something happen. But that being said, lucky for them, they get the Jets this week. The Jets have beat a couple of decent teams. They have not beaten any
They have
really shitty teams, and that's the crazy thing about it. And
it's nuts
Miami,
that they have wins. Tennessee has 2 losses, and one of them's to the freaking Jets.
they beat Tennessee, they beat
Yeah.
Cincinnati. Both are much
mean,
better than the Jets, obviously. Miami's
It's
not much better than the Jets, but this is the type of team that the Jets just can't beat. I'm going Miami.
Better's delight. Better's delight.
I'm gonna go next because I'm gonna piggyback off of your
Oh, that's
Deshaun Watson trade. So I heard when the trade talks were going on, Miami wanted some sort of assurance, I guess. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Some sort of an assurance that Deshaun would play. Houston was not willing to do that. Whereas, like, if Deshaun got suspended and couldn't play, Miami wanted to move their first round pick to like a 3rd round or a 4th round. So Houston was not willing to give any sort of insurance that Deshaun would play, and that's why the trade talks kind of fell apart.
That's a tough trade to make. I mean, because he could legit be looking at an exempt list, not
Correct.
playing for a year
Correct.
or 2.
And if you're gonna unload 3 first rounders or however many first rounders it was, that's a lot of future picks for somebody that could be hitting the commissioner's exempt list. So I mean, I think if White was playing here, I'd probably take the Jets. Flacco, we haven't seen him at all. They traded like a 6th round pick for him. He knows their offense. I can't pick the Jets in this. I mean, Tua doesn't look great. Miami doesn't look like the team we thought they were going to be this year. But give me Miami over the Jets.
Chris?
I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into the. I'm just going to go with Miami. Last time I watched Miami play, they looked pretty good. Last time I watched the Jets play, they looked pretty bad. So, I mean, other than Waddle, I don't really see any bright spots. Flacco, I get it. He was good back, when the lights went out in the Super Bowl.
I don't know if he was ever good.
He was good.
He was good for those 7 weeks.
He was.
I don't know if he was.
He
good.
really was.
He was average. He was average.
He
and
was.
he
Listen. He was.
into a Super Bowl.
Leave it to the Minnesota family to hate anybody that won a Super Bowl. They hate Foles.
I said he was average.
He was one Hail Mary fluke play away from not even making it to that Super Bowl against Denver.
Hold on. You just used the he was one pass away as a reason why Jimmy G was good, but now it's he was one pass away from losing.
I didn't say that. That was Chris Lane.
Look, can we? Flacco was an average quarterback. He was serviceable. He could, I don't think they were losing games because of him. He caught lightning in a bottle, similar to Foles.
There you go. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And then, bam, there it is, Super Bowl.
Bang, bang, boogie, Ray Lewis didn't kill anybody, and they win Super Bowls. Let's go.
And it happened. It ends up. I want to know why Deshaun Watson hasn't been suspended yet.
Because there's more to the story than what they're telling us.
Yeah, there's a lot more there because there would be teams lining up if they thought, especially right there before the trade deadline, if they thought there was.
I don't know if there's more there. I don't know if there's more there or if there's nothing there, and Houston's just going to wait until next year and unload him at the draft and get many picks as you can get.
Well, they probably have more answers publicly.
Would anyone put it past Goodell, though, to be like, well, he's not going to play for Houston this year, so even if we suspend him, he's not really solving his suspension. So we're going to wait until somebody trades for him and then slap him. You can't play for a whole season. And then, that team's fan base is going to go gorilla.
But can we talk about how Goodell's getting sued?
I haven't seen who he's being sued.
That sounds like
John
not something to do in the middle of the pick.
Oh yeah.
Let's not do that.
We're gonna move on. I tell you what. All right. So next game on the docket.
I need a horseman.
Jesus. It's the Carolina Panthers -3.5 hosting the Washington Racisms. What do we think, Jim?
I'll start.
Cam-
I'll start.
Oh, wait, okay, go ahead.
Cam Newton's coming back.
He been back, bro.
Listen,
We out here.
He didn't start.
It don't
He
matter.
didn't
We
start
out
that
here.
game.
Two tutties. Let's
Cam
go.
Newton's going to start this game.
He stumbled from
I saw
great.
something that was really interesting, and it may be a conspiracy theory. Do you think that Carolina's receivers were dropping balls on purpose so Sam Darnold would get benched?
No.
No.
I think Robbie Anderson was just that trash.
Have you seen the picture of like Robbie Anderson when he sees
Look-
Cam
look.
Newton on the sidelines and when he saw Sam Darnold on the sidelines?
Look, I don't.
Why would you jeopardize your career like that?
No.
Jeopardize your career.
Hey,
if
look,
your quarterback's
if you're-
throwing bad balls.
If you're a wide receiver in the National Football League, okay,
You catch everything
there
thrown at
are
you.
31 other places that will pay you money if you excel at your job. And if you sit here and want to tell me that any wide receiver is duffing balls to get Sam Darnold benched in a losing year where the Carolina Panthers aren't going to sniff the playoffs so that they can have some sort of
They're 500 right now.
whatever, they're not going to sniff the
Yeah, they had
playoffs.
three
Don't
easy.
play. Don't
let's
play.
let Nathan ride that. That adds to it. They have a shot at the playoffs, and you're telling me that they're throwing balls on the ground on purpose? Do you know how many undrafted guys there are who played at some D2 school who would love to just get a shot that would come in and take Robbie Anderson's job like that? Like,
Well, they're not. Listen, they're not going to bench Robbie Anderson because of his track record in the past. But regardless, it was just more of a meme. But
Look,
regardless,
yeah,
I'm taking Carolina. No Chase Young, torn ACL. He's done for the year. Washington's Super Bowl run, Chris Land, I'm sorry, has come to an end. Give me Carolina
Man, I
in
felt
this
like
game.
after week 4, I thought that was shot. So
Yeah.
Listen, I think Cam Newton is going to have a little bit of moxie and swag, and it's going to be hilarious when Washington beats him, because Washington should not win this game, but they're going to win this game. Give me Washington.
You're 100% wrong. This is the Cam Newton. What town of the Cam? My God, it's happening, boys. It's
I love
on.
the timing
It
on
is
it.
This is
on,
so
man.
asinine that you guys are talking about Cam Newton as a serviceable
He's
NFL
elite.
starting
He's
quarterback.
going to make it to the Super Bowl, and this time he's diving on the ball and he's winning it.
Jameis
Hey, here's
Winston
what I
would be a
know.
better starting quarterback with a broken fucking leg than Cam Newton is. But go ahead.
Here's what I know is I'm going to let Ship tell me some stats because I don't know who I'm going to pick. So, Ship, give me some
So-
reasons to pick a team.
So look at this, by the way, the ticket prices, I believe, in Carolina, I think they doubled within a matter of 20 minutes of Cam Newton scoring that first touchdown in Arizona. So the ticket prices for this game have skyrocketed, which is incredible. Washington football teams allowed fewer than 20 points in 2 straight games. They allowed 20 plus. You guys remember who
Against
they beat
Tampa
last
last
right?
week.
Yeah, I was about
Against
to say, you remember
Tampa.
who yeah. Brady looked rough. Look, Carolina
Yeah.
has check this one out. Carolina has fewer than 200 pass yards in 6 straight games. That is the longest streak since 2010 when they drafted Cam Newton number 1 overall in 2011. So could the streak go back?
Cam's over under for completion yards is 214 and a half.
Correct. So
Under.
So do you
the
go
football team-
under?
Under.
No, because I like because he has a weapon that is fully healthy in that backfield, and he's got a valid receiver at a number 1
Okay.
that can take away from that.
Hey, what's
So
the
the football
over-under?
team is
Go ahead, Chip. I'm sorry.
so let's see. The Panthers are 4-1 in games with McCaffrey. They were 1-4 without him. So that speaks volumes there. So Ron Rivera, fun fact, he's 68, 55, and 1 in games started by Cam Newton and 18 and 23 in games started by other quarterbacks in his head coaching career. So he likes Cam. See, last little fun. The Panthers this is the 4-1 in games with McCaffrey 1990 between a former MVP quarterback and the head coach from that MVP season. The former MVP quarterbacks are 10-4 in those matchups, and the quarterbacks have won 5 of the last 7 matchups. I'm sorry, but the buzz around here, down here in the South, has been about this. I haven't heard of any other game mentioned. I think Robbie and Cam's hairstyles are pretty identical, and I think that's why Robbie's excited.
Well, you know what they say:
Uh,
media buzz wins championships.
They look like the
Yeah.
Island Boys.
I'm an
trying to make
island
it-
boy.
Boy.
Just trying
The
to
most
make it.
undeserving rich people ever.
Have you
Anyway.
seen the
Carolina
Kardashians?
Carolina wins.
Hey, we can go
by-
deep on that, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut first so we don't get kicked off Facebook. Anyway,
31-17 Carolina.
Hell yeah. Hey, but Chris, before you give your pick, what's
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
over-under for rushing touchdowns in this game for Cam Newton?
if you do 1.5, he's even money. Or actually, he's 1 plus 135. I'm going off memory here, but there's also one that he's plus 280 to get more than two rushing touchdowns.
See, I wouldn't bet on him to get 3, but at 1.5, I would bet on him to get 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that they're going to use McCaffrey as a decoy, and they're just going to let Cam pound it, and they're going to make teams respect Cam Newton's power.
That
I don't know.
stadium,
I'm going to go with this.
Years.
The Panthers play really good defense against bad offenses, and I don't think that the Washington offense is very good. So I'm going to go with the Panthers. But early in the season, the Panthers, like I told everybody, jump on them early and then they'll fade off. Well, the schedule kind of comes back to them later in the season with some bad matchups where their defense could make some noise. I think the Panthers are a 500 team, and they may go 500 from here on out, but I think they get a dub this week.
Well, that's going to be great. This is 2 games where I'm going to be able to say, haha, you suck.
Who was your other pick? You picked Detroit?
Uh-huh.
He picked Detroit.
8 Mile, baby. 8 Mile. Detroit what?
Oh my god.
Next game on the docket, Chicago Bears and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 6.5 point
Chicago.
road favorites. No, I'm not, because Justin Fields.
I don't mean shit. That hasn't
Justin
stopped you
Fields
on
has better
anything else.
decision making than Joe Burrow, though.
That's
Well,
Justin Fields
incorrect.
is better quarterback than
The
Joe
game
Burrow.
is slow for Justin Fields. He said it.
That's incorrect.
Yeah.
The game is
Yeah,
the
and
game
it's
is
speeding up for Joe
slow.
Burrow.
The game
Remember,
is slow.
No,
In the
it's
preseason, in the
Cincinnati, they're undefeated
preseason,
right now.
everybody was talking about the speed of the game, and like he had his best preseason game. He goes, it actually felt kind of slow. Yeah,
You put
that's-
Justin Fields on Cincinnati, they're undefeated.
Oh my god!
Look, man, I'm just gonna say this. If you ask any NFL fan across the planet who are the most sad, delusional groups of fans in the NFL, it's the Eagles
Oh, fuck them. Who cares?
Nope.
and the Cowboys.
No.
So forgive me if I don't give a flying rat's ass about your opinion on the Bengals, but that's okay. So what
I'll
do we-
start this game because I hate Chicago. I'm going to take Baltimore. Lamar runs for 115 yards.
Yeah, Baltimore
Ooh.
big. Baltimore. Marcus Peters. Is he playing? No, he blew his knee out. Somebody in that secondary is going to get like 3 interceptions. I still don't trust Justin Fields. He looked good a couple Mondays ago against Pittsburgh, but not.
I think. Listen, who has more rushing yards this game, Lamar or Justin Fields?
Lamar Jackson, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Lamar's going
times two, I like
to be
that.
on the field a lot longer than Justin Jackson. If Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson, don't worry about it. Hey,
What a
this
hybrid.
Bears
was a
Justin
running back.
hold on. Justin Jackson was the power forward on UC when I was in college, and he's
NIPH kicking your
he's a
ass.
running back.
Is that when you were a zoologist? Nathan?
yes, yes, exactly. That's an oldie but goodie. That's a good story. Listen,
They'll never die.
it's real simple. Lamar Jackson has double the rushing yards because he's on the field twice as long as Justin Fields. Justin Fields throws 3 interceptions his senior year at Indiana, or his last year in college against Indiana. He's going to throw 3 interceptions against the Ravens on Sunday. Book it, Baltimore big.
But does he throw 3 interceptions on 3 straight passes like Joe Burrow did against the Bears defense?
He does not, and only one of those was due to a poor decision.
Doesn't matter. Still counts as an interception.
Still counts.
Counts as an interception. Like just a strike is a strike in bowling. All
I
right, so
took
look,
Baltimore,
Ravens-
by the way. I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
But
The Ravens have averaged 45 points a game and allowed 10 points a game in their last 2 games against a team that was coming off of a bye. The Bears have 7 takeaways in their 3 wins this season. They only have 2 in their 6 losses. We talked about Lamar. Lamar's accounted for 82.8% of Baltimore's offense this season. Eli Manning is the only other quarterback in the Super Bowl era to account for 80+% of their team's offense and win a Super Bowl that season. Eli Manning, elite. Okay.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
He is Hall of Famer, but it's not because of elite.
He about got his little show on Monday Night Football kicked off the air too.
Bullshit.
His fingers. So look, the Bears are 0-7 in games following their bye week since 2014. Chicago's 7-game drought is the longest since the Raiders lost 10 straight post-bye games from 2003 to 2012. The Ravens have won 12 straight games versus NFC teams. That's the longest in the active streak. And each of the Ravens' 3 losses this season have been against teams that are outside of the playoffs entering Week 11. 2 of their 6 wins have come against current playoff teams. I think we talked about it with Khalil Mack done for the season with his foot surgery. Go ahead and give me Baltimore.
Chris?
Ravens are pretty good. Bears are pretty bad. Give me the Ravens. Ravens were coming off a bye week, I'm pretty sure, right? Or was they a Thursday night game?
Chicago is coming off of a bye week.
Who's the Ravens play?
Baltimore played Miami last
on the Thursday night.
Correct. So
yeah,
they've had a long week.
So they had the kind of a mini bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Ravens. I think Dave Montgomery has a pretty good game though.
All right. Well, we're Ravens across the board, so that's an easy one, right? Next game on the docket, we've got the Eagles hosting the Saints. Philadelphia, with all the injuries to New Orleans, is a 3-point favorite at home. What do we think, gentlemen?
It's
So Ship's gonna pick the Eagles.
So look, check this out. Comparison-wise, the first 14 career games for their starts, Wentz was 3,300 yards, 13 passing touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
Does that stat sheet tell you that Carson Wentz doesn't play for Philly anymore?
This is their first 14 career starts as a Philadelphia fucking Eagle. Will you let me finish?
Yes, yes, sir.
Ooh,
he doesn't.
I wish I had a button to do the fire sign.
Yes, sir.
He doesn't listen. Chip, he doesn't let anybody finish. You'll learn that.
Yes, sir.
I know. So look, both of them are 5-9
You
in their
let the
first
cop
14
finish
games.
sir.
Jalen had 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Philly has lost 5 straight home games. That's their longest since losing 10 straight in 2012-2013. Trevor Siemian, by the way, one of 2 quarterbacks with 500-plus passing yards and 0 interceptions since week 9. The other quarterback is a guy that has a brother that likes to dance on Sean Taylor's name and number. There have been 3 instances since 1980 of a team having 175-plus rushing yards in 3 straight games, with no player having 100-plus rushing yards in each of those games, which is Philly. Okay. Offenses by the half. I talked about this in Echo with the Saints real quick. The Saints are terrible in the first half. The last 2 weeks, they've only scored 6 points, but in the second half, they average 40 points. With almost 500 yards of total offense. So as long as they are not down big in the first half, they are very strong in the second half. Anything else? Devonta Smith, the last couple weeks, he's averaging 91 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. Give me the Saints. I'm not picking the Eagles.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm not taking the Saints because Alvin Kamara's out, so that means Mark Ingram is your back in this game. Eagles looked pretty good last week. Does anybody have a guess on how many rushing yards Jalen Hurts has on the year?
640.
Close. 550. But I think he runs all over New Orleans. I don't think he really has to throw the ball too much. I don't really think this is a game. Philly's 2.5-point favorites is what I see. Give me Philly.
Strongly disagree. I think that the Eagles offense is going to struggle mightily against the Saints defense because that's kind of been the only thing the Saints have going for them other than Alvin Kamara is their defense. It seems like the defense makes a play when it needs to be made. I think we're going to get a couple of those balls where Jalen Hurts just stares it down the whole way. and those New Orleans Cardinals are going to get a little aggressive. So I'm also going to go with the Saints because I can't bring myself to pick Philadelphia. And also, Big Truz, woo woo. We at the, I think it's the CISO Superdome now. We bout that. So it's a big game for Mark Ingram. I'm thinking about stouting him because he's on my fantasy team now.
You're not. This isn't a home game for the Saints, though.
Oh well, Big Truz. We at the whatever the
the
Eagles Stadium.
the
is
Lincoln
called.
Financial Field.
Lincoln Financial.
Yeah, we at Lincoln Financial. We bout that. Big
Chris?
Truz in the flesh. Woo woo.
We now refer to Jordan as Big Truz.
He said woo woo
Woo,
really
woo,
low at
woo.
the end, which just brought it home. I love it. I
For
love
shame.
It. I mean, it's what it's truly a coin toss. I mean, I could see either team win, and I'm gonna go. The Saints defense is pretty good, and I think they can kind of make the Eagles one dimensional. So I'm going to go the Saints. I want the Eagles to do well. I have Jalen Hurts on several of my fantasy teams, but I also don't want to eat blazing hot jerky. So I'm going to go with unbelievably on the coin toss. I usually go the home team, but I'm going to go with the Saints this time.
Fair enough.
That good old East Coast traveling East Coast on a 1:00 game gonna be tough.
Well, it's more of the dome team going outside in shitty weather that's got me.
You don't know it. You don't know anything.
Doesn't matter. That
Chris,
doesn't matter.
That
Chris,
doesn't matter.
You don't know anything about Dome. I'm going Eagles this game because I think they're the better team with Jameis
Buddy,
Winston
yeah,
out.
I mean, I could say just ask your input, any female in your life, and but I won't.
It sounds like you just did.
Right.
I think you just did.
Yeah. You played yourself.
Hashtag
No,
dumb.
I played you. I was letting your mind wander.
There's no wandering here. I'm going Eagles. I don't have to wonder about
Somebody's
this
giving
game.
some dome.
Listen, Nathan's mind is wandering all kinds of places because that IPA is kicking his ass.
No, it's good. I'm fine. I got plenty of room for more Bush Light later on Twitch, 10:30, twitch.tv/It's Silver Thunder. I'm going Eagles this game.
Ah,
Oh my god, that's so lame.
You know what? Hey, don't worry about it. Next game, Tennessee, Houston.
Hold on. Who did Ship take?
Ship to
Just one.
the Saints. To
Okay, yeah, I was. Okay,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Josh and Nate were the only one on Philly.
God, I could go the other way.
Right.
Yeah, I'm contemplating that pick now that Nathan picked him.
All right, go ahead.
Next game, Tennessee versus Houston. Tennessee's 10-point favorites at home. What are we thinking,
I'll
guys?
start. Tennessee's the best team in the AFC right now. Houston's probably the worst team in the AFC right now. So I'm going to go with the really good team, and I'm going to take Tennessee.
You know who has the longest? Oh, go ahead, Chip.
So Devontae Foreman, I'm big on this week. He looks good. He looked good last week in the amount of carries. He pulled the carries away from good old AP. So he's actually looking pretty good. But the fun stat, it's not even in my list of stats that I normally do, but do you realize that the Titans are on a 5-game winning streak? And do you realize that the 5-game, and actually more than that, but the reason I put it is the last 5 teams they beat were all playoff teams in last year's playoffs. So they have beat basically every team that was in the playoffs last year. Saints, Rams, Colts, Chiefs, Bills. They blew out the Jags and then lost to the Jets prior to. But again, they're on a 5-game winning streak with that, which I think is pretty impressive. The Texans have scored fewer than 10 points in 5 games this season. A.J. Brown has averaged 111 yards in his career versus the Texans. That's the highest by any player versus Houston with a minimum of 4 games. They've lost 3 straight to the Titans, allowing 35+ in each game. And I think this is probably one of their worst teams compared to those other 3 teams. The Texans have either scored 21+ or fewer than 10 in each of their games this season. And the Titans are 4-1 in games with a negative yard differential this season. That's the most in any games. But I agree with you. It's Tennessee all day. There's no way you pick away from that.
And I'm gonna add a stat that Chip didn't mention. Do you know who leads the league in rushing right now?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry leads the league in rushing, and he hasn't played in 3 weeks. That's all I'm saying. He's the
Jonathan
GOAT.
Taylor almost caught him last week. I think
Almost counts in 2 things, Chip.
Josh is just salty because his season went down the
missed some
drain.
games, and he's getting ready to make a run at it with a pretty
Listen,
run.
that's fine. Henry's done till the playoffs, but right now Henry hasn't played in 3 games,
Oh.
and he still leads the league in rushing.
I get it. I just want Nick Chubb to catch him because I got to bet $30 to win 180 that
There you
Nick
go.
Chubb wins the rushing title. So I'm
Hey,
really just
I want to make this one brief. One, I've been preaching all year that Houston doesn't have any draft. Houston has a first-round pick in this draft, and I got Mandela affected because I could have sworn they didn't. And I looked, and they have all 7 picks in this draft. So maybe not going to be the worst team in the NFL until 2023. Tennessee wins this game going away, though, because they are very bad this season. And it doesn't look favorable at all for Houston.
Houston's also getting 3 first-rounders next year. So
Oh,
don't
and
forget
also
that.
don't forget that the Titans are on the longest win streak in the NFL. Second longest win streak is the New England Patriots, who I put in the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season.
yeah, they get 2 out of your Patriots get 2 games against the Bills, so that's gonna figure itself out. But if
We'll see what happens.
they split there though, that could be issues. I haven't
We'll
looked
see
at
what
the
happens.
remaining schedule, but your Patriots could do it.
All right, yeah, it's the Titans.
Chris?
Oh, Titans.
Yeah, it's Titans. It's far and away easiest pick of the week. This is the what's up to Marcus Morgan. Welcome to the show. Welcome in the chat there.
He's able to comment, not his Instagram, I guess.
Yeah. His Instagram got hackeronied this week, and he had to start from scratch. So he's relying on some of his buddies to come out. We got to support him. Go like his new Instagram. TaMarcus, drop the link in the chat if you want. Titans, it's easy. It's super easy. For me, Houston's just fucking terrible. So we're going Tennessee. We're going to make it simple. That's Tennessee across the board. Next game on the docket.
Tough one.
Minnesota and the Green Bay Packers. I'll start this one so that Jordan has time to get ready. And he is going to
He's not getting ready.
You're such a scrub. Guys, I've been telling you since the beginning of the season, the Minnesota Vikings are a goddamn good football team. Kirk Cousins is playing the best football of his life. Last year, I had the strength and intelligence to take the Vikings. I was not the coward that Jordan was and abandoned the Vikings. They're going to win this week. Green Bay's got some talent. Green Bay's arguably the best team in the NFC this year, but Minnesota's sneaky. They're playing sneaky good football. And I know that Jordan doesn't want to hear this, but I think Minnesota wins this game and it saves Mike Zimmer's job once and for all. And they start talking about locking Mike Zimmer down for a long time. Not saying that's the right move. Just saying what's going to happen.
Have another IPA, bro.
Minnesota
Hey,
wins this game.
let me jump in since I feel like the gauntlet's been thrown down, and I kind of feel like a mosquito in a nudist colony because I don't really know where to start. If they extend Mike
You've been
Zimmer,
dealing with that affliction your whole life.
I know. I think I'm gonna start with the Mike Zimmer stuff. I will say, here's a fun stat for you. Mike Zimmer was 9-1 as an underdog before Kirk Cousins got there, and now he only has like 1 win as an underdog. And I don't know. Maybe it means something. Maybe he's not as bad as I thought he was. Maybe it is just Clint Kubiak. I really want to pick the Vikings. They're the only team in the NFL that's led by 7 in every game they've played this season, and yet somehow they still managed to be under 500 as we sit here picking games today. AJ Dillon is going to be serviceable. I don't trust the Vikings.
Is that you, JJ Dillons?
Is that you, JJ Dillons? I don't trust the defense for the Vikings to not let AJ Dillon have some big game on him. The same way I can't trust, I wouldn't trust their defense to play Cooper Rush again because they were supposed to stop him. And guess what they didn't do? They didn't stop Cooper Rush. So I'm going to go with Green Bay in this one. I just can't put any faith in the Vikings. I can't put any stock in them. I love them to death. I would love to pick this one wrong. If us beating the Packers this week and making some magical Joe Flacco-esque Super Bowl run means I have to eat 12 bags of that spicy ass jerky, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
You heard it. You heard it. Clip it.
12.
Unfortunately, it just means, I think I'm correct. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to beat us this week, and I don't think it's going to. It'll be close, obviously. The Vikings don't get blown out, and we don't blow people out, but I'm sure we'll be up 14 in the fourth quarter, and then our defense will shit the bed like they seem to always do.
Josh?
I just want to take his jacket and his little cat ears and rip them off because no Viking. Listen,
What a coward.
Aaron Rodgers, he's got me fired up. Okay, now I'm pissed off. So Aaron Rodgers, because he's a big sissy girl, has a hurt toe, and he's listed as, or he was questionable. Now he's saying he's playing, but he has a hurt toe.
Hold on. What's Joe Rogan say about his hurt toe?
I don't know.
Oh,
He says to ice it in Gatorade.
Okay, whatever. Rodgers has a hurt toe, and he's out here, crying. Somebody step on his toe. He'll go sit on the sidelines, and we'll get the next coming of Brett Favre and Jordan Love that comes in the game, and he'll blow it.
And
Listen, Alan Lazard, their number 2 wide receiver,
Gone.
is listed as questionable
Gone.
or doubtful. He's out this week. You have Devontae Adams. Patrick Peterson's coming back for the Vikings, and Jordan can't find it in his heart to pick Minnesota after we just gave LA the worst home loss that they've had all year. Oh, didn't Ship's Cowboys play there? Didn't the Cowboys play in LA? Ship?
Yeah, we won. Yeah, we won.
Yeah, you won by like 3, but we beat them by 7. So
I don't. We still won.
listen,
We also beat Minnesota.
listen, I'm not talking about the Cowboys. We're talking about last week, Ship.
Brought it
Okay.
up.
I'm just saying we gave LA the worst home loss they've had all year. The Chargers were Super Bowl bound, playoff bound, whatever. Give me Minnesota in this game. Somebody step on Rodgers' toe, send him to the sidelines, and fuck the Fudge Packers.
Damn.
well, oh shit! I put Green Bay up there for you. Just kidding. Fix it now, Chris. What do you think?
Jeez. Hey, follow that up. Anyway,
By picking this game so we can keep the show moving.
you just shush your mouth when I speak to you. Anyway, I think that I don't think the Packers have that many weapons. They have one good receiver, and now they're down to maybe either the. I think he's probably the 3rd best backup in the, or maybe 2nd behind Madison is the 2nd backup, best backup running back. So I mean, but then you look at the Vikings and they have, they have weapons. They're at home. God, I feel like I'm in last.
Do it.
and
You know what to pick. Don't be a coward.
Man, I'm taking the Vikings.
My man.
Here's the problem, though. That secondary is so shitty in Minnesota,
That's
and,
true.
and good quarterbacks
Big facts.
beat them.
If they'll smelt, they
Also,
lost Harrison Smith for 2 weeks, and they had Cam Bynum, a rookie out of Cal, stout at safety for him. If they'll smelt, they play a lot of zone defense. If they'll smelt, they bench Rashad Breeland. They put Bynum in at cornerback, and they just play zone. They play cover 3, and they let him cover deep middles, and they let Harrison Smith play more of a corner role. I don't know. You got to get
I
him on
love
the
that
field.
you
'cause he's
said
been playing
Rashad
well.
Breeland.
He's ass.
I know. Hey,
221.
I try to stay away from a lot of the things that, like, the people who do the best in daily fantasy. Anytime Rashad Breeland is on somebody, he is automatically moved into the top 10% of people you should try to get into your
Because
lineup.
Breeland's ranked like 220 of 221
Right.
cornerbacks.
He has
He's
one
terrible.
game where he only allows 2 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown, and he starts waving on boos from the fans and telling them to suck his
But
dick
can we
after
talk?
the
Listen,
game. He's terrible.
Chris Land said something, and I feel like we're
Can I make
just-
my pick?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Good.
I love you.
Lord, you guys live on tangents. Look,
God,
Kirk
we love
Cousins
you too. You're
sucks against scoring defenses. By the way, he's 0-6 in his career against top 5 scoring defenses. Rodgers is 14-9. By the way, the only other Hall of Famer with more wins against Minnesota is Brett Favre. There's my Brett Favre stat of the week. Kirk Cousins has 18 touchdowns. That's the best interception. 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The Vikings are 0-3 versus teams that currently have 6+ wins. Kirk Cousins has the highest passer rating among quarterbacks making 8+ head-to-head starts. Against he's got a 104 passer rating. Where's my other shitty Vikings stat? Each of the Vikings' 5 losses this season have been by 7 points or fewer. Green Bay. Sorry. We beat
Well,
them with Cooper Rush. I will never pick Minnesota. We beat them with Cooper Rush.
sheesh. Okay. So We're split there. That's an interesting one. Jordan and Ship take Green Bay. Everybody else takes Minnesota. Moving on to the next game here. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders hosting the Bengals at the Strip Club. What do we think here, guys? Ship, why don't you start us with some stats?
So look, the Bengals have allowed a season high in points each of their last 2 games, 34 and 41. Cincinnati allowed 18 and a third points per games, 1 through 7. The home team in these matchups have won the last 7 of 8 between them since 1998. The Bengals have lost their first game after the bye in each of their last 5 seasons, fewer than 20 points in each of those 5 games. The Raiders have started with a winning record through 9 games for the 3rd straight season. And then you look through 1 through 7, they were 5-2. The Bengals averaging, the defense was giving up 18 points a game. Like I said, now they're giving up 37.5 points a game. Next gen stats, by the way, the Raiders lead the NFL with a 36.9% quarterback pressure. Joe Burrow has the 3rd highest completion percentage when he's under pressure. Fuck it, give me Vegas.
You're a coward. It's the Bengals. The Bengals are the better team. The Bengals have played more consistently this year. They're not leaps and bounds better than the Raiders, but the Raiders have been good, shitty, anywhere in between. The Bengals have been more consistent. I'm going Cincinnati here.
Of course you are.
The last time I saw both these teams, they both looked like dog shit. The Bengals losing to the Jets, the Raiders losing to Kansas City, just getting absolutely dog walked. Oh man, my heart says Cincinnati. My brain says Vegas. I'm gonna go with the Bengals, just because of Jamal Chase. I think he's that offense is more explosive, and with the Henry Ruggs loss, seems like Vegas has a lot of off the field that they are dealing with, and it just keeps piling on and on. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati here because I can't trust Vegas anymore.
Josh?
Similar to what Jordan said. I really don't know in this game. It's a must win for both. I think the Raiders ran into Kansas City at the wrong time. They figured out their offense. Patrick Mahomes finally realized that if you take the underneath routes and don't force the ball down the field, good things happen. Give me Vegas.
Ooh.
Chris?
Well, I want the Raiders to win, so I'm picking the Bengals.
I knew that's what was going to happen.
I mean, hey, look, the Bengals kind of limped into the bye week, but they were good. I mean, the Raiders, I kept trying to tell you, everybody, that they're fool's gold, and they're proving to be fool's gold. So, and I want the Raiders to win, and every time I pick them, they lose. So I'm taking the Bengals.
Sound logic. I like it. All right, next.
So Chip stood
Obviously,
alone
I'm
with
not
Vegas.
betting that
No,
game
Josh
at
took
all.
Vegas.
No, I took Vegas.
Josh.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. All right, next game. This is an interesting game. We've got Seattle hosting the Cardinals. Cardinals are 2-point favorites on the road.
Theme on this game.
Discuss.
I mean, no. Hopkins isn't playing. They've already said that. Kyler Murray is a game time decision. And then on the flip side, now you got Russ. Knocked some rust off last week. A beat up defense. I mean, golly, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I think this game is going to come down to Connor. I think even if Murray plays, I think they're going to try and limit him, so they're going to try and run the ball a little more. Hopkins is out. They still got threats out there on the ends. Seattle looked terrible against Green Bay. I mean, they look
Green Bay's defense is good.
Yes, but Seattle hasn't looked good. I can't think of a game where they looked good, even with
Seattle Seattle hasn't looked very good. I'm going to take Arizona.
Okay.
Just because I can't trust Seattle. I mean, their defense is terrible.
I know they leak on the backside. How about you, Ship? Who are you taking? You've got to stay back and kind of watch that fireworks happen. Who are you taking?
So look, the Seahawks have allowed only 15 points a game in their last 4. They haven't allowed 30 plus since week 3. So the defense has stepped it up the last 4 weeks. So don't say they're trash. They're not that bad. The Seahawks have fewer than 250 yards in 4 games this season, but now they finally have, like I said, Russell. I can't remember if he played with the glove last week or not. I know they were talking about it. Lockett has 2 receptions and fewer than 40 yards in 3 of his last 4 games. Obviously, he didn't have his quarterback. Cardinals are 5-0 on the road this season. They've won by 12 plus points each of those games. And even if Kyler doesn't play, then you've got, and it's not Colt because Colt was injured against Carolina. I can't remember what the dude's name is, the 3rd string quarterback. DK's averaged 18 yards in his career versus the Cardinals. That's the fewest against a single opponent. Russell's lost 2 straight starts in his 150 career starts he has 150 career starts without losing 3 straight in a season, are the most by any player to start a career since 1950. Give me Seattle. Oh, and he's not even here.
I'll jump up on that ship. I'll also you bringing up that their defense has been playing better in the last month. Let's give us the benefit of the doubt.
Look at
that
who they
last week
played,
was
though.
knocking. I know. No, they've had a well, they played Green Bay and they held them to 17 points, and that game was 3-0 for most of the game.
Rodgers was also knocking off a little bit of rust.
Okay, well,
Boring
so was
game.
Russ. So let's, I'm
Okay.
gonna go with Seattle as well. Just it's gonna bite me in the ass because Kyler's gonna end up suiting up on Sunday. Because I think he has something to prove. He's got to prove that he can play through injury, that he's not going to, miss a month every season. Because right now he's starting to get that label on him that he's, how do you pay a guy $500 million that can't stay healthy for 17 games? So I'm going to go with Seattle.
You stick him in center field and let him play for 120.
If we're going to talk about their last games, yes, they held the Packers to 17. But again, that was Rodgers knocking some dust off.
And so was Russell knocking some dust off too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about their defense. They've played Jacksonville. They played the Saints without a quarterback. They played Pittsburgh and the Rams and gave up 26 and 23 to both of them, 28 to San Francisco. I'm not impressed by their defense.
Fair enough. So Jordan picked the Seahawks.
They had Jameis Winston
Who
as a
else
quarterback,
picked?
by the way. New Orleans had Jameis.
Ship took Seattle.
Ship took Seattle. Jordan took Seattle. Me, I took Arizona. Chris, who'd you take?
He held off because he's a coward.
No, I didn't hold
you're
off.
just sitting back sniping.
No, not at all. I have definitely jumped in and made early picks tonight. Anyway, I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona in this one. I think Arizona's a better team. I think Arizona's got to win some games here down the stretch. So I think Arizona wins this game. Let's see. Next game on the docket, the Chiefs and the Cowboys, sorry. Kansas City home favorites minus 2.5 points. Ship, kick us off.
So look, you have the absolute shittiest defense in the league in Kansas City going up against the 2nd-ranked offense.
They've been playing better.
Chip, I don't give a fuck. So is Seattle, but you don't care.
Quiet, let y'all go through this. Get all up in your personals
2nd.
tonight. I can see
I don't
it coming.
care if Amari's not playing, so you bump CD to the 1. You've got Michael Gallup that's able to come in. You've got Turner who's been playing good in the slot. I'm fine with that. As far as that, the Chiefs, they've won 10 straight versus NFC teams. Dak is the 5th player since 1950 with 6+ wins, 20+ touchdowns, and a 70+ completion percentage in the first 10 weeks of his season. Can you say fucking MVP? I can say it. That's an MVP season right there. Has their number. Andy Reid, he's 18-12. He's probably ate a couple cheeseburgers while he was trying to figure out how to win those games. Who gives a shit?
You sound like you ate a couple edibles, but go ahead.
The Cowboys have allowed 180 passing yards since week 6. That is the 2nd fewest in the NFL, by the way, if you don't know. I believe Trayvon Diggs got another interception. I believe he leads the league in interceptions with 8. I'm just saying, if you're not close.
Might lead the league in yards and touchdowns given up too, but that's fine.
I don't give a damn. They're still 7-2. Dak Prescott leads the NFL with 16 passing touchdowns versus the blitz. Kansas City blitzes on 33% of their dropbacks, which is the 6th most in the NFL. The last time Dallas ranked first in scoring and total offense for a full season, that's 1971. They went 1-3. That was their first Super Bowl win. Go ahead and give us our 6th Super Bowl win this season, anyways. We're gonna blow fucking Kansas City out of the water. Who gives a shit?
Dibs. It's time. Kansas City. I told you they were gonna do it. I said it. I said they're gonna look so fucking good against bad teams, and it's gonna fool all these stupid people into thinking that they're back and that they're good again. And god damn it, they're back and they're good again. And it's about to be a shootout. It's gonna be a fun game. This is the game I'm the most excited about this weekend, other than the Vikings game. And man, I'm going with Kansas City because Mahomes is, I'm going to say 6 times the quarterback Dak Prescott is, the most system quarterback I've ever seen play football. Trayvon Diggs, look, he's so aggressive, and personally I like that. He's also really bad about like jumping routes. Tyreek Hill's going to eat his lunch like all day long. Like he's just going to run by him, and anytime he even thinks about running a slant, fucking Trayvon Diggs is going to be I want to get to 10. I want to break the interception record. Here I go. Bye. Tyreek Hill's in the end zone while Trayvon Diggs is sitting there staring at him. I'm taking Kansas City just because I think Kansas City is going to expose the Dallas defense, and I think this is going to be a shootout. I'm taking Kansas City. I'm going to say they win by a touchdown.
My only hope for Dallas is that they get the 1 seed, because if they don't, they're going to get bounced the first round of the playoffs. Listen, Kansas City figured it out last week. Mahomes figured it out. I said it earlier. You take the underneath routes. You can't cover everything. You can't cover deep and underneath. They'll pick them apart underneath. Trayvon will get greedy, try to jump a route. Tyreek Hill hits him with a little double move, and he's gone. Trayvon has a very proven track record in the NFL to get handsy when he gets beat and he starts grabbing. So I'm going to say over 2.5 intercept or PIs against Trayvon in this game, because he's going to get torched by Tyreek. And I'm going to take the Chiefs big. I think they cover.
I'm going to throw this in there.
Fucking 40 on Atlanta.
It's Atlanta. They're terrible.
Atlanta. I just watched Mac Jones, the most system quarterback since Tom Brady, come out and throw. What did he throw for yesterday against them? 230.
Not great, and he got
200. 200.
Hey,
Yeah,
all I'm saying is,
you got a defensive
PFF
touchdown.
PFF will grade Bashad Breeland higher than they grade Trayvon Diggs this week.
Who gives up? No, they won't.
They probably will. Anyway,
They will.
I mean, I look at that stuff all day long. I get it. Trayvon Diggs is so bad against a second move, and that's what Tyreek Hill lives on. Anyway, but hey, he's got those picks, and it made him an early season.
We'll see what Dallas's defense is made of this week. If they shut Kansas City down, they're legit.
I'm still going the Cowboys.
You're going Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys. I'm going to tell you. Here's the thing. Amari Cooper is not playing, which kind of made me. I was really hard on the Cowboys early, but I mean, here's the Chiefs. They're still not good on defense, and when you spread them out, and that's what the Cowboys are the best at doing, is spreading you out. They can run power out of 2 wide or 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. They still get their yards.
Do we forget that this elite Cowboys defense gave up 30 to Denver?
No. I have not. I mean, and that's why, even though it's the highest total on the market, it is the highest total on the card. I mean, I just think that, I've watched the Chiefs not be good, and I've watched Dallas really have one bad game. They had one bad game against Denver, but their other loss in week 1, they almost beat the Bucks, and everybody was on the KY Jelly Express on how great the Bucks was in week 1. So I mean, but since then,
that's the best team they've played, though. They've played an easy schedule.
No. They played New England. They beat New England.
Okay. So that's the second best team.
We're through 10 weeks. I mean, if your warts are exposed and Chiefs warts have been exposed, and I mean, it would it surprise me to go the other way? But I'm going to pick a side. I'm going to pick the side with the most weapons and and the team I just think is going to be able to out scheme. Now, the problem is coaching on one side and the other is I think on the Chiefs side, but I'm going the Cowboys on the road, and it just sounds stupid to say it.
I don't know that it sounds stupid to say it because the Cowboys are a good team. I can't pick Kansas City in this game. Kansas City's been way too inconsistent. Like I'm not about trying to ride Kansas City on this game. Cowboys are good. They're really good. As much as I give Ship crap, it legitimately could be a potentially Super Bowl year for Dallas.
Could be.
I don't see them losing I think this is a must-win game, not necessarily for the standings, but I think this is a must-win game for them to finally shut up some of the people that are like, are they really that good? Like, I get Kansas City's defense sucks, but Kansas City's the type of team that can come and sneak into wins in these games. Dallas beating the shit out of them and having 2 back-to-back blowout wins, I think really sends a statement. I look for Dallas to at least win by 2 touchdowns here. Josh?
2 touchdowns?
Josh?
You almost made me choke on my Cody.
Listen, I already picked. I took Kansas City, my man.
You took Kansas City? Okay, I didn't know if you picked when I was going or not. So, all right, so we're split on that one. The brothers taking Kansas City. Everybody else taking Dallas. We've got 2 games left, Sunday night and Monday night.
What's the Sunday night game?
We're going to talk about these in tandem because we are running out of time, and the Monday night game is going to be pretty easy to pick. We've got I always want to say the Clippers because I put LAC down here. We've got the Chargers hosting the Steelers, okay? And then on Monday, we've got the Bucks hosting the Giants. I'm going to go first here. I think that the Chargers rout Pittsburgh, and I think the Bucks rout the Giants, and that's all I'm going to say about it. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's a rout in the Chargers-Pittsburgh game because I don't think the Chargers have shown that they blow people out. They kind of
no. What is up with that?
I kind
Justin
of
Herbert not being as good as Joe Burrow. That's what's up with
in
it.
the season, it seemed like the Chargers were going to be that team that kind of exploded out into the stratosphere and were like, the new like favorites or whatever. And they just weren't able to catch that. They weren't able to keep it going. They kind of stumbled and now they're. Yes, I know. You're preaching to the choir here. So I'm gonna take the Chargers just because I don't trust. How do you trust Big Ben? Najee Harris seems to be the only bright spot on that.
Yeah,
offense.
I'm not sure bright's the right word. Oh, I didn't know the games could end in a tie. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Nice play on words. I like it.
I'm taking Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Chargers to beat Pittsburgh. The Bucks are obviously gonna beat the Giants. Are we doing last thoughts as well, or are we just ending? Final thoughts. That KC Dallas game. I legit think the best 2 games this Sunday are going to be Green Bay and Minnesota for the 1:00 slate, and then Kansas City Dallas for the middle tier of games. And I'm really excited to get to watch both of them. Big weekend of college football. Hopefully, Ohio State went. Here's what we need to happen. Ohio State went out. Oregon to lose once, and Notre Dame to win out, and then the playoff. Oh, and Georgia to beat Bama in the SEC title game, and then the playoffs should be Georgia playing UC, Ohio State playing the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and that's
there is a negative 1,000,000% chance that Notre Dame gets ranked higher than UC if they're both in the playoffs. Absolutely impossible.
He's saying they both get in.
No. I'm sorry. Georgia playing UC because the 1 plays the 3, and then the 2, Ohio State, would play the 4.
What planet do you live on, Jordan?
The 1 plays the 4.
I'm an idiot. So it would.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, whatever.
Flip it.
Fuck you.
Somebody clip that.
Fuck you. I got
Flip
confused.
that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's probably the cat ears on your head that confused you.
It might be. No, I watched a Barstool breakdown of it, and I was like, "Holy shit,
later.
it's gonna happen!" Because
No.
Oregon plays. Tell me how it doesn't happen.
Oregon's gonna get. But listen.
Oregon's gonna get beat by Utah. UC's gonna jump into 4, and Ohio
Hey,
State's
I'm gonna take
beat
the Chargers, and I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Oh, I thought it was still my final thoughts, you bastard.
Final thoughts. Not your final
we don't-
manifesto.
We don't
Good
interrupt
Lord.
whenever people talk.
Shut up, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's the college football playoff. I just spilled it out for you. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
I got to
the
be
1 plays
excited
the
about
3.
something that isn't
Jordan,
the NFL.
our college football analyst,
Oh, fuck you. I had a brain fart. Nathan couldn't get the 2 quarterbacks in the Chicago-Baltimore game right
Justin
tonight.
Jackson. That's
Justin
an elite
Jackson.
He's a running
quarterback,
back for
Jordan.
the Chargers. At least he's in the NFL.
Shut up, Jordan. All right, I'm taking the
Gotta
Chargers.
love this show.
I'm taking the Chargers and the Buccaneers because Tom Brady looked like shit last week, so he's going to come out and prove a point that he's still the GOAT against a pretty bad Giants defense.
Chris.
Final thought of the evening.
Oh no, sorry. Yep. Final thought.
I'm going to delegate my time to shit on my brother because he thinks that the college football playoff is the 1 plays the 3 and the 2 plays the 4, which isn't the case.
Fucked up, Jesus
oh,
Christ.
Hey, it's hold
yeah,
on. Who plays in Dayton to determine who gets the last seed in the college football playoffs? Tell us, Jordan.
Oh, that's funny. No,
I've
what?
scalped
Here's
tickets for that
your
one.
college playoff, Jordan. Ohio State wins out. They go to 3. UC bumps to 4. Georgia, UC rematch from last year. UC gets beat by 35. And then Ohio State.
Who's the 2 seed?
Alabama.
Okay,
2
so
loss Bama gets in.
Bama would be the
Oregon's
2
out.
seed, man.
So Oregon's out because they
Oregon's
lose to
losing to
Houston.
Utah. They're going to play
Or,
Utah
yeah,
twice.
There's
Utah.
no chance
Utah.
on planet Earth that Alabama gets the number 2 seed as a 2 fucking loss team. There's
Are
not.
they going to do a rematch
Because
and put them at
you
a
know
4?
what? Hey, it really
They won't
comes
get in.
down to how close the SEC championship is to what Alabama gets.
Which it shouldn't. Bama should be out if they lose. 2-loss Bama team out.
Correct.
And put
They should
Notre
not.
Dame in the fucking playoff.
No,
Against
why?
Georgia?
What do you mean why? They're blowing people out. They have 1 loss to the
Blowing
3 seed in the
anybody out.
playoff. If you let UC in for going undefeated, then
UC
you
is
let
gonna
Notre Dame
get
in, and the
buddy,
only win
it's a
loss is
great
against
story.
UC is going to have a conference championship under their belt. Notre Dame doesn't have one of those because they're cowards.
It's a great. I know it, Chip. I wish I was fishing. UC, if they end up the 4 seed, they're going to be dominated at nearly every position, especially what Georgia does on defense.
Georgia
That-
might
they'll
have
end up
Georgia
the
might have a
3.
more difficult time scoring on UC secondary than they have any defense they've played this
They
year.
don't have to. They're just going to run it down your throat.
Okay, here's
Amir
this.
White,
They'll end
bro.
up the
Amir
3
White
seed.
is
They will
legit.
play the 2 seed, which is Ohio State. So we'll get OSU versus UC. Does anyone
Which
know the
would
last?
be
hang
great
on.
for
Does
ratings.
anyone know the
Jordan.
last Ohio football team to beat the Ohio State Buckeyes?
Miami of Ohio.
No,
What's up?
I don't know what the team
Akron.
name is. It was Worcester. It was Worcester.
It's pronounced. Hold on. It's pronounced Worcester.
Worcester.
Moving
Thank you.
on.
My
Moving
math
on.
teacher went there.
Chris, your final 2 picks and thoughts of the evening.
The Bucks, obviously, and I hate Pittsburgh, and I like the Chargers, but even though I don't know what the hell's going on with their defense, but I'm gonna go with I'll go with the Chargers pretty heavily on that. So my final thoughts are basically, y'all are crazy. You all went nuts all night long on certain teams. It's really funny. I mean, but.
Yeah, listen to him, guys. He leaves the fireball alone for 3 days, and all of a sudden
Called
he's a
passion.
he's a
It's
wise
called
old
passion,
sage.
Chris
You would
Land.
thought he was a pastor. with
Yeah.
the way he's
Yeah, I
talking.
mean, it's. I don't even understand some of the logic in some of these games, but anyway, I'm in last. So what have I got to say other than I hope you all lose?
If the
Have a great
season
week.
ended right now, Chris Land, you're eating the jerky. That's all we're
I
saying.
would, and you know what? I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to come in last.
The guy that has his own show on Sundays at 11:30 is in last.
I know, and
11:45.
you know what that guy does? He gives out freaking winners every Sunday.
Unless
morning.
he's doing a pick 'em because he can't give those winners out.
I don't, and Nathan and I talked
Players.
about it. How is it possible that I come in the money in like all these big competitions and they won't let me in the rookie ones anymore?
The only way you're
How is it possible that I can figure out the players that do great, but not the teams that win the damn game?
Buddy,
Same reason you think Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Joe Burrow, because you know fantasy, you don't know football.
buddy.
I'm going to
The
tell
only
you that
way-
I am on the side of all of the fantasy experts in that.
The only
Not
way
to-
the only way you're coming in the money is if I put a pile of it on a stripper's face. That's the only way. Now, that being said, guys,
Your
it's-
$4 isn't going to get me off, son. Let me just tell you.
Did Daniel Ship give his final thoughts?
He did not.
I haven't had a time to, y'all. I mean,
It's your
good
turn.
Lord.
Love y'all.
It's your turn.
This is like that. What is that? They used to have it back in the 90s. You used to have your chat line party. Everybody would get on their phone. Everybody would dial into a room. And that was, you had your group chat on the phone.
Everybody's trying to hook up on that. What are you talking about?
Sounds like
Dial
ancient
a date.
technology.
Yeah, the phone. But anyways, no, I mean, look, I just got to thank God and my parents for keeping me in first place for a 9-game lead, being the first, hopefully, to get to 100 games before week 12 with you guys behind me. At some point, I'm sure we'll talk about what the winner gets in first place, so I can send off my shipping address to Nathan. That way it gets here, and
He's getting gift cards to Lee's famous recipe.
There
don't
it
think
is.
I won't use them. Home and garden, son. Home and garden. But anyways, like I said, I'm.
Do y'all
hard
have
on my
come and
team.
goes in Carolina?
Mm-mm.
That's a Southern thing.
It's a Southern thing, but we don't have it.
Is a come and go like a one night stand?
No, it's actually
Like in the
they're-
bathroom with the
No,
little.
they're like a they're like a super
It's a-
American
it's a-
chain in the South.
No, it's like a convenience store kind of
Yeah,
thing.
So it's like
yeah.
a Sheetz
It's
or
a
a Wawa
Speedway.
kind of
Yeah,
Super
it's like it's a little more than like your average marathon, but it's more like a Sheetz or a
Okay.
Wawa or a Casey's.
I bet they have spray on cologne in the bathroom at the come and go though.
Look, the only reason, and I'll say it, I'm hard on my team because I'm proud of them to be able to stay in my position, that they're where they're at, and I'm passionate about them. I will never jump off the bandwagon, Jordan, regardless of how they perform.
He just
So
don't
that's
wanna
just
eat.
me. That I'm passionate about them, and I will forever be, regardless of how they perform. Dak
God
can go out
love
there
you.
for fucking 5 interceptions, and I'm still going to say that Zeke needs to throw the football instead, and they'll win the game. So that's just how it is, and that's how it'll continue to be. Cowboys by 28 this weekend. How about that? There you go. I don't give a fuck.
I'll take the money on that one.
I would also take the money on that one.
All right, guys.
Right
Well,
now,
listen,
sign it up.
Take the money and run.
we've had a lot of fun this week. I'm Nathan. This has been our panel. Jordan, Chris, Josh, Ship. We will not be back next week. We are taking the week off. We will be posting our picks and publishing them for everyone to see. We will see you guys after the Thanksgiving holiday.
I will be doing that.
We will see you guys soon. Thank you.